Hey, welcome back to Made of Wires, where we're decompiling Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Go to something.z.dev to learn more. Last week, we were looking through a bunch of the Olrox functions that we don't necessarily have names for yet, and naming those. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more of that today, probably a short stream, but we'll try to identify a few more entities in here. And I think a lot of it is going to be related to the second form. The other thing that we have is we'll get to it in a bit and see what we have. So let's get right onto it. We're going to go to the terminal to start and look at what some of the offsets and addresses are that we need to find. So we looked at the ones above, and these are all things that we were able to identify from the entity Olrox function. And the ones below are things that don't exist in that function. So among those is going to be the transformation, which is this right here. So we might want to look at that function and see if we can tell what entity that transitions to after the transformation is done. And then we might be able to see some of these other things as well. So let's start there. And if we can find other create entity function calls in there, we'll look at that next. So let's get started and see what we can do. So I'm going to start with the PlayStation version, and then we'll flip around to the PSP if we need to. We're looking at boss BOO, and we want this function here. We start off with a great comment. Can't get effect works. So somebody having a little bit of trouble with this particular function. That's always fun to see. A lot of fun when you can come across a comment that that can make you smile or chuckle, get into the head of the developer who wrote this originally. So we're going to choose the Castlevania Symphony of the Night preset on decomp.me. And not unsurprisingly, we have a function that doesn't work. So a few things that we can do here. Let's update the function name. And we have some types that we don't know what they are yet. Or some globals that we don't know what they are yet. So we're going to say that this is arg self, and we'll get a new decomp for that. The other thing we know is that this is going to be an init type. So we can throw that down there as well. And then let's see if we can tell what these other globals are that are found. So the functions I'm not overly concerned with. This looks like a void. The other also looks like a void, so let's not worry about those too much. And create entity from entity. We do know what the signature for that is, but I'm not too worried about that either. I do want to see what is being called from this. So we have entity ID 33. I'll go back over here. And my guess is that this is the true form. Especially if we only have one of these calls. Oops. Using Vim key bindings doesn't work too well. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure at the end of our transformation, what's happening is we're switching over to the true form, and we'll get to that in a second. And true form, we already know where that is. So let's look at these other ones just to get started. My guess is that some of these, it looks like probably texture offsets. I'm assuming... hey, Heavy Metal Mixer. No reason, just an odd day. And so I thought better to stream than not to stream. These two look about the same. It's hard to know whether or not these are going to be... I think what they're going to be is just signed 16 arrays, and we're going to be incrementing through them. And so we're never going to access element 0 after we increment. I know it's written that way here, but that's not really the way it's going to work. So I'm pretty sure both of these are going to be signed 16 arrays, so I'll throw that in the context as well. Oops, sorry. Signed 16 arrays here. Just trust me. If it's wrong, I'll point it out too. That's not beneath me. All right, and one more. This looks like it may be pause or position struct. So those are 32 bits, but they split the 32 bits into two 16-bit chunks, one for the whole number portion, one for the fractional portion. And since we're accessing offsets 2 and 6, that looks like XY to me. Let's see if we have a pause. Yeah, I think it's going to be an array of pause. Let's assume that. I don't know for sure that is what it is. Less confident about that one, but that's what I'm going to assume. So we still have a bunch of noise, draw env, and some other things. Let's get rid of these declarations. We won't need those. Oh, look at this. Decomp.me has clickable error codes now. It's like we're running Plan 9. Wow. We're in the future, folks. No, really, it's actually a really nice feature. All right, so we're looking for, where are we getting this? Unknown 0 upgrades. Hey, Project Omega, good to have you back. Definitely upgrades. So we're doing a copy here from A2 to A3. My guess is, and this is just a guess, but that this is just a struct copy, so we're not actually doing this manually. So we need a var A2 is going to be a draw env, and we're going to make var A3 not a pointer to a draw env, but a draw env itself. Oh, it does look like it is a pointer. Okay, so we'll keep it a pointer. And down here then we get to... We'll still take this pointer, but then we'll say var A3 equals star var A2. And that will give us this whole thing. var A3 looks like it's always a pointer to SP18. So we probably could just use SP18 there. Yeah, and that's what we'll do. I don't think we need a separate variable. I think that's just an optimization. Odd, some odd structure there. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate it. I think we are doing pretty well. Actually, I haven't looked at the stats in a while. Should go back and look at that. I think when this is done, or getting a little further along anyway. Now we have the same thing here. I think that should get us compiling, or most of the way to compiling anyway. Oh, not as close as I was hoping. I think I'm going to go back to weapons. Okay, so we have a few issues here. I'm going to comment these out. These likely are legitimate assignments. But the way that the decompiler is treating them, it'll be much easier if we can map the instructions a little more cleanly. So I'll do that. Do we have a question mark up here still? Oh, we have a bunch of voids. How lousy. Alright, so var A2 underscore 3, that should be assigned 16, yeah. Temp A2, we really shouldn't need. So I think what we have here is we're just going to be dereferencing this and dereferencing it again. And then we'll do a plus plus, not a dereference plus plus. Here we're going to dereference it. We're going to dereference it. We'll do another plus plus. These look like they're out of order. But by the end here now, I think we should be... I probably need one more plus plus. I don't know for sure that it's immediately after this, but that's where I'm going to put it. Well, yeah, we could keep going. Looks like a lot of repeated issues. Let's see if this is the same thing, 245. Not quite. Mostly what I wanted to determine, we need to figure out what is in the entity extension. I was mostly interested in the create entity call and what it was creating. So my assumption here is that 33 is the true form. So we're going to go look at that now. And actually, to look at that, we're going to take the address, go to the debugger in DuckStation, and throw that in there as a breakpoint. And I'm going to reset this. Actually, are we in the true form? Yeah, we're in the true form already. So let me go my save state. And we'll get back over there to the true form. And what we should see is that we hit that breakpoint right after the transformation is complete. That's my assumption. So far, no. We hit it already. A little surprised. And it could be, we should look at that function and see, it could be that the entity is created right away, but doesn't actually do anything yet. Let's uncheck that and keep going. Did I grab the right one? Oh, I disappeared. Yeah, I'm a debugger now. There we go. So, not sure if this is going to be the true form or not. Hey, guest, good to have you. It looks like it. We should actually go try to find that. There's our can't get effect works string, which is amusing. So this is what I think is the logic for the true form. So we should see 3 or 4 different attacks. It looks like maybe I started that at some point. Well, let's look at that one then. We'll delete this. So I'd expect several create entity calls here too. But these are much earlier. So 6 is intense explosion. Yeah, that definitely happens after the laser. So here we just have the PSP version. Let's go down to 1043 in here. Let's see what function this is. So the call to create entity, it looks like we're creating 3C here. And 3C, we should not necessarily know what that is yet. And that is correct. We don't know what that is. Oh, this is interesting. So my guess is that these are all the parts. So if you look at the way true form moves, my guess is that each of the parts of him are individual, and so they're linked up in different ways, but they're individual entities. So besides replacing these with nulls, which we can do, we could go and look at some of these functions and replace them with no-ops, basically. It might be fun to do. And so what we should see is those parts then disappearing. Let's replace these with what their correct IDs are. And so we should see. So we have 34, 35, 36, 37, 2 38s. And the 38s are probably going to have different params. So 34 through 38. All right. So we know what all those functions are. And so what we can do is basically go over here and put a JRRA instruction. That instruction is, oh, of course, I've had my taxation in the way the whole time. Yes, Trevor, using Linux, everything that has been built for this particular project primarily is Linux based. We do have all the code is portable, or we're trying to make it as portable as possible so that it can build with GCC or Clang. But there's other tooling that we have. The biggest, it's not so much an issue for the PlayStation, but for the PSP, we have to run old MetroWorks compilers, and those require. Sorry, let me see if I can go to. Those require 32-bit x86, and so I use a Mac primarily. On modern Macs, you can't run 32-bit x86 nicely. You can do it through Wine, but nothing else. All right, so we need this JRRA instruction, which is going to be at 468, but we need it here at 470. And so what I'm hoping is this is going to take out part of his head or something along those lines. And can I get to... Yeah, there we go. So we're right here at 4.7, and we have to do this in Little Endian byte order. And so let's look here. Where do I want? I want this 6.8. All right, so we're going to go 0.8. EO03. So now when this function gets run, it's just going to return right away. And it's not updated here yet, but it should be the next time that it's read. And so what we should see optimally is one of the parts disappear. We'll see. And of course that didn't happen. Oh, but his whole part disappeared. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. So he's still there. Actually, he's not really there, is he? Yeah, there are still some entities, but so this first function looks like the function that was to draw him, and of course I didn't keep track of what the original instruction was, because why would I need to do that? Rewind. We can just reload. Invisible Aurochs is terrifying. All right, so let's try the next function down, which is at 551C. I was looking at some other, I mentioned this, I think, the other day. My son got an MP3 player, like an old school MP3 player. And I was looking at the firmware for that and seeing if there was anything fun to do with that. And it turns out that it runs a MIPS SoC. I thought, oh, I know MIPS. And did some initial debugging to see what it might be. It runs micro MIPS, which I haven't done anything with, so I have to figure out what micro MIPS is. Well, I know what micro MIPS is, but how to deal with it. But then the other thing I noticed was It does not. Oh, there's his head. So, what do we think about... oh, is he actually... He's gonna hurt me. But because he has no head, he died instantly. Alright, so I think that outer function must be like... This is the... Maybe that outer function's the true form? Lego Island decomp? No, I haven't. It's in logic. Headless All Rocks is completely in logic. Alright, so let's reload again and do the same thing for the next one. What I'm hoping is that limbs start falling off, but what can he do? It'll be interesting to see him walk without limbs. Alright, so I need to reload my state first. So what I want is when the state gets reloaded, basically we're in a different overlay. And so as soon as I walk through this room, I would expect this data to change because it's getting overwritten as it's read from the disk. And now that it has changed, now I can edit it and it won't be overwritten. If I would have edited it before, it would have just been overwritten when the disk loaded the next section. And this is just, I'm typing hex, but it's the machine code instruction for return from the function. And now he's missing his tail. Not as scary. Ovrox would be fine without his tail, I think. But we found that. And my guess is that either the arms are together or what? What is the other option? I don't know, but we got to do the same thing. So we're going to load the state. Go into the room. And then replace. And okay, so the reason I brought up the MP3 player, this version of GCC is really good about basically always ending a function with the return machine code and then maybe some padding. Actually, you need at least one instruction after it because of something called a branch delay slot, where this instruction immediately after it gets executed no matter what, and so often that instruction is just null, a no op, do nothing. And looking at this MP3 player's code, much more modern compiler, it does not work like that, and the jump return is not at the end. And so, well, not necessarily at the end, I should say. So you get a lot of weirdness. Those functions aren't quite the same. Right, let's see what we get this time. Sorry about the table. Yeah, no arm. No arm Olrox. That's actually worse. Though, a little T-Rex-like, maybe? You trying to grab? You can't grab, and you're never going to get out of this state. So now he's stuck, because the way that these are all coupled together, the arm entity was given a task, like go do your thing, finish your grab animation, and then go tell the parent entity that you're done doing your grab. But since that entity, or since that function now just returns, it can't do that, and so Olrox will be stuck like this until we defeat him. Oh, and now he can't even be defeated. He's just locked. I wonder what the blip is for. I was looking at the messages that were being printed. Okay, so we know what the arms are, and the last one is, my guess is, it's the legs. What else could it be? Yeah, that's actually, yeah, so the the tail animation has a mind of its own, literally. All the entities are still getting updated every frame. If I would have left the candlesticks and everything in the room, that would have been updated. Really, it's just the Olrox entity itself, which is waiting on that, not really a message back, but getting updated from the arms. And that's never going to happen. A lot of this, you kind of think, is that how I would program that? Probably not, but at the same time, could I have programmed this to begin with? Probably not. Honestly. Come on. All right, so last function. Why am I unable to? Here we go. Sorry, my menus weren't updating. Oh, cute Olrox. Can you imagine Olrox as a puppy? Not really a puppy. Whoa. Lizard, baby lizard. The baby Yoda of Olroxes. Alright, last one. I won't break your table this time. I'll try not to. I don't want to. Oh. You broke your own table. Now he's not going to have legs. Oh, he does have legs. He doesn't have hands. Oh, interesting. So the hands are separate from the arms. That is sickening. If you've ever seen the 2003 movie of Titus, that's what that kind of reminds me of, and it's just as disturbing. That's pretty horrifying. The hands, I doubt, deal with any state. It may affect him trying to grab, which would be interesting. Let's see if I can get him to try to grab me. Yeah, so he can't grab me, so the hand collision must be where that logic lives. Which makes sense, because those are the extremity. So we shouldn't be able to kill him, though. So basically, the hands never collided, because there's no logic for them to collide. Is he going to get hands when he falls apart? Oh, that's disturbing. That's really disturbing. Poor Olrock. So we can beat him without hands. Sorry, Olrocks. Skinny crow. All right. So, what about 39? Is that in our? Is there a reference to 39? We have 3B. Oh, that's a joke from RoboCop. It's just as sickening now as it was then. That's true. All right, so here we have 3B. I'm guessing that this is one of the attacks, but maybe not. Let's see if we can find what 3B does. We could do this a couple different ways. We could put a breakpoint. I think that's the way I'm going to start. I should make a, but I don't want to. I was going to say I should make a state right before Aurochs dies, but I don't think I'm going to be using it very frequently. And there's still some other stuff in here. Alright, so we did hit this state right away. Or the whatever this other function is, we are calling it now. Let's do this. So it looked like it did take a couple frames to get there, to update the code cache. But I am gonna get rid of this one too. Breakpoint. Oh, sorry. Don't have deck station up. So I don't see anything yet regarding what it might be. Let's... Okay, so that got rid of my... I think it got rid of my change. Alright, so we hit this. Let's jump to the dump. So we're going to get a few frames where the old version of the code is in place. And then it'll eventually reread this and update the cache. And it looks like if we are stepping through it, it does it right away, which is helpful. Good to know. It's almost like his, like he doesn't have a tail. Let's try one more time without doing that. It looks like it might be his tail during the transformation. No, he doesn't have a tail, regardless. Okay. So I don't know what that function is. It is something that does get created at the beginning. Let's see if it's still getting called. Yes, so whatever it is, it's still getting called. So no name for that now. Let's go back over to we create 2 of them. Okay, but it wasn't obvious what it was. And these end up having the same, so we're looking at the A0 register. They both have 3B being passed to them. 3C down below. Seemed like it was an attack. And then we're back at the top. So it seems like maybe this function is like the end of, or just deals with transition or transformation. And this first function is the true form itself. I'm going to go with that as my current idea. And so in this this next function, that I'm assuming that we're going to see some other logic in there. So let's go look at that one. I really like the comment in this. This is one of the favorite. Can't get effect works. It's not the broken English that I like. It's like here you have Iga comes in and says, "Okay, we're gonna have this boss, and he's gonna be just a human." And then I need him to morph into his true form, which is going to be like a lizard creature thing. And so let's get that done by, I don't know, 5:30. And salaryman programmers like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get this to work? And spends the next month just trying to get this code to work. Actually, nothing really fancy is going on here. We're looking at the entity before, so we're going to need a new... And where else are our... so here we have a pause. I'm going to take a pointer to that. I think it's a pause. Not quite sure, but we'll see. Oh. It's possibly the next entity. No, that's not far enough along. Is it? It might be. Let's try that. I'll rename this parent entity. My guess is that this variable is being used 2 different ways. So not quite. Looks like we're taking a pointer. I'm gonna back that out a little bit. this is going to be not quite right. Either this is an array. Val is wrong. Low, I high, no high. The wrong type. Yeah, pauses fixed 32s. Yes, this is not quite right. If we do know where the PSP version of this is. The PSP version will actually be quite a bit easier because this is a small function. We should be able to get exactly what's going on. If it's part of the entity extension, I don't have any of that fleshed out yet, so I don't know. We'll load this up, and then I think I have to call it a day. Yeah, we are reaching pretty far, and so we do grab a pointer. That struct is fairly large. So whatever we're pointing to has XY. It's maybe a primitive, maybe something else. We'll have to determine what that structure is. So here, this is interesting. We don't actually create a variable. We're doing a self -1 facing left. Weird. And SP10 is always self. So the last two things, are just down here. What is this structure? I'm gonna have to go back and review what looks like it has XY values at offset 20 and 24. If there is anything, it could be something custom specifically for this Aurochs code. So we've been working a little bit on Aurochs. From Castlevania Symphony of the Night, go to soten.z.dev to learn more about the Symphony of the Night decompilation project, and I'll try to be at a more reasonable time tomorrow. If you like what you see, if you want to see more decomp, like and subscribe, and that's all I got for you. Adios.